spit for popstar, ling-a-ling-a-ling. No ass, no chops, no ring-a-ling-a-ling. Cool as so, but you won't hold my breath. Who draw for the ting-a-ling-a-ling? I pack more than a swing-a-ling-a-ling. Make breads that roll when I ting-a-ling-a-ling. My ting-a-ling's long like string-a-ling-a-ling. I'm next and I fall like ting-a-ling-a-ling.
Why though?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Everything you've already listed, some people will never even achieve that in 3 lifetimes.
Talk your ish.
No, but it's true. In 3 whole lifetimes, 100 years you get each time. Once you've got to a certain point, like, just get out. Do you get what I mean? Like, run away from this thing. But in fact, I think it's the opposite. At the end of the day, I'm still at a competitive age. 2009, I was probably at my lowest. And that's why I think it's important for people to hear this, because 2009, I was ready to quit. If you believe in what you're doing, just never quit. And don't do it to stupidity. Don't be living on the streets and be like, you know what? I'm still going to just keep doing it. You know, make sure your inner child is alive. Make sure life doesn't make you kill off your inner child, whether it's the bills, whether it's the responsibility, whether it's your kids, whether it's your missus. Like, make sure you keep that alive. Digitally, 90% of the numbers have to be fake, right? So that they have to be. Do you get what I mean? Or they have to be able to be manipulated. I'm not ever necessarily looking for the big check up front. Like, if you can guarantee me that I'm going to continuously get residuals forever, I would even forfeit that big check.
SK Vibemaker.
SK Vibemaker. My interviews are hotter. You know we bring through the best special guests. We are not changing tradition anytime soon. Today I got someone in the building with me on the rooftop, an unmistakable voice and face. Just let them know who's here, man.
My guy, SK Vibemakers, it's your boy Tinie Tempah. We're on the roof right now. What are you telling me, bro?
Jeez, like, I feel like one of the first times you came on my show, actually, we was on the roof.
I think so, yeah.
You know, we're on the roof again, but I'm kind of like, it's interesting that you introduced yourself as Tinie Tempah.
Yeah, bro.
Because I know that, like, back. Yeah. So is it Tinie or is it Tinie Tempah?
Nah, so you know what? When I decided I was going to do the hiatus and just take a break, like, I wanted to change my name to Tinie because I wanted to get into other things. So I did like a little thing for Amazon with one of my boys. He directed a thing called Jungle. And I just wanted there to be like a difference. Started doing like a TV role as well. So I've got this show called Extraordinary Extensions where, like, I love my houses. So even when we're on this roof here, I'm like looking at everything. But basically in that show, I go all around the country and I will like look at, like, monitor people while they're building their whole extension, and then with the knowledge I have on property, architecture, etc., I'll just give them my thoughts, opinions and that. But I just didn't want that all to be under Tinie Tempah because I felt like it kind of diluted what Tinie Tempah is. But now that I'm stepping back into music, like, it's only right.
We talk about stepping back into music.
Yes, sir.
You are rich, you are successful, you've been, like, your music, you know, catalogue goes back nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
Why have you decided to come back into this vulnerable space, which is music? Because many might say you didn't have to.
That's a great question. But I think when you say it like that, you almost make it feel like, you know, once you've got to a certain point, like, just get out. Do you get what I mean? Like, run away from this thing. But in fact, I think it's the opposite. I think the minute I found myself in other areas, just being totally honest, like, the minute I found myself in other areas, other industries, do you know what I mean? Done a bit of investing as well. So got into the finance world kind of indirectly because of that. Got into the tech world as well indirectly because of that. I started to quickly realize that obviously music was the thing that gave me the most joy. Do you know what I mean? Like, outside of, because obviously you mentioned money, like, it's not even about money. Like, it's just, if I can wake up every day and make music, that's me doing something that I want to do because I love it. Do you get what I'm saying? And then obviously I got to a point where I was just looking at, like, monthly listeners and whatnot, and I'm like, man's still like 5 million monthly listeners up. Like, I haven't put out something in X amount of years. So I almost feel like I was starting to, like, let down my fans. You know, like how, especially like when you're a lot younger, everyone's got their certain football player, or everyone's got their certain artist and they're riding for that artist. I started to think about my fan and I was like, rah, like, I'm ghost at the moment. So when they're trying to defend me, they can't even say anything. Their heads are down right
Straight
now.
up.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not right. So I need to step out and I need to continue doing what I love. And now I'm in a position where I can do what I love and help other people, like you said, because of the resources. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is if I'm where I need to be as an artist. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, forget past stuff. It's like, what are you doing now? So that was basically the mindset. And after I, like, had my kids and settled down, I felt like I took out the right amount of time that I needed to be very present as a father, because obviously, you know, growing up in our cultures and communities, sometimes there's a absence. Do you know what I mean? In the family household. And for me, that's not something I wanted. I always grew up with like my mum and dad, seeing them there. So I wanted to be around to change the nappies, do all the school runs and stuff like that.
Proper stuff, grown stuff.
Grown stuff, because I knew that also, it would be great for my family, but also it'd be good for me as a person, because I feel like music is kind of an egocentric thing. You know, you're very much focused on yourself and, what you need to do, where you need to be, how you look, who you're around. But, this was me kind of being obviously it's my kids, but being very selfless and almost not thinking about myself. Sometimes I'm doing a school run, I've got a little bit of vomit, you know what I mean, from when I was just changing the baby that's still at home. I got a bit of vomit on the shoulder and I'm not caring. I'm just trying to get my kids to school on time. So I felt very fulfilled, and I felt like obviously I'm always going to be there for them, but I'd put in enough time where they know like their dad is their dad and he's around and he's always going to be around. And then it just felt like the right time to step back in, man.
A lot has been made of the first album. 85,000 sales first week.
Yeah.
Still hasn't come close to. People have tried. They ain't come nowhere near it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Discovery's the first album. You came out with an explosion. 3 albums, like #1s, hits. The catalogue is massive. Do you feel like at this point when you're coming back 15 years after the debut album that you have something to prove?
No, I don't feel like that. And that's a good thing, because I think if you'd asked me this question maybe 3-4 years ago, I would have said, yeah, man, I got something to prove, rare. But again, it took a lot of time just being in my own thoughts and still being in the studio creating, because obviously, we've got our own studios. They were in South before. We've moved to Northwest now, and we've gone from like two studios to 5 studios. So I'm sitting in there and I'm obviously like spending a lot of time just going through the emotions, like, pressure. Is this song gonna bang as much as the last one that banged? Do you get what I mean? Or what are people gonna say if it's not how it was before? Or rare. But then I came to the conclusion that like a lot of the first I've done, like you said, your first album out the gate, rare, all your #1s, all this, all the amount of records you've sold, what you've done stateside, what you've done on a touring level, it's already been done. Do you get what I mean? So why do I need to put myself under pressure if I'm the one that's already achieved that? No one's ever going to be able to take that away from me. Obviously, there's loads of other artists who have gone on and done incredibly well as well. But for my personal journey, I think I just got to a place of like acceptance and content. Like, if nothing happens in my career, and to be honest with you, like, not to name drop, but I remember at one point Saul from Chase and Status came into the studio, and he was basically talking about their journey. And he was talking about the fact that, he got to a place in his mind where, he was putting out loads of stuff, and then him and Will were just like, you know what? If nothing ever happens beyond what we've already achieved, are we content? Are we happy? Yes, we are. And then obviously whatever happened after that. And I think when he spoke to me about that, it really like resonated with me. And I was like, you know what, bro? That's actually like a very great perspective to have on your career. So everything you've already listed, some people will never even achieve that in 3 lifetimes. Do you get what I'm saying?
Talk your ish.
No, but it's true. In 3 whole lifetimes, 100 years you get each time. Do you get what I mean? They wouldn't. And so I have to be content. I have to thank God. I have to be blessed. And now I think for me, it's just about, totally making music on my own terms, making sure that I'm servicing all my fans, all the people that have been rocking with me from day one, even the people that have been rocking with me from yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Making sure that I'm giving them stuff, because at the end of the day, I'm still at a competitive age. Do you know what I mean? When I watch UFC, when I look at some of my peers that are spitting, do you know what I mean? I'm still at a competitive age, so why not compete? Do you get what I'm saying?
Came in the game young.
Very young. Came in the game at 16, bro.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That 85,000 first week that you done with Discovery, does that still mean something for you?
I think
I mean, that's the record.
Yeah, that's
no
the
one's come
record.
close.
Obviously, like
a UK rapper.
For a UK rapper, I'm putting my money on Dave. Like, I'm hoping Dave will come through maybe with his 3rd album.
You want him to beat it?
I think it would be nice if he beats it. Yeah, man. It's been 15 years, bro. Do you get what I mean? So maybe Dave. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think now at this point, the 85,000 is not really that significant to me. I like the fact that people are giving me flowers. But I think the fact that album went on to sell over 1 million copies, like in the UK alone, that is ridiculous.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? And that's something that I'm incredibly proud of.
You're an MC, you're a rapper.
Yeah.
but you're also a pop star.
Yeah.
Do you feel the pressures? And I asked this to Rita Ora recently. Do you feel the pressures to still deliver to pop star standards and status?
I think that when I first started out, I didn't ever believe I would get to the status of becoming a pop star, like quote unquote pop star, which is essentially a popular artist. You get what I mean? On a commercial level, yeah. I think again where I'm at in my mind is like I'm me in it. Do you get what I mean? I'm me. So everything I do is me. It's Tinie. Do you get what I mean? I can't not be me. So I think whatever I will do will always be delivered at a certain kind of level. But in terms of like pop star, I think that definition is a constantly evolving thing. Do you know what I mean? So maybe what a pop star looked like 10 years ago or 15 years ago is not what a pop star looks like today. So I would say I don't have the worry or the pressure of delivering things at a certain level of quality or polish or whatever, because I've done it so many times before already. So I know I can do it. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
The music that you've released this year, you got the singles Eat It Up and Closer.
Yeah.
They are definitely on a rave type vibe, like a drum and bass vibe.
Yeah.
Is this the pocket that you're in at the moment? Is this where you're staying? Is this what it looks like for a forthcoming project or an album?
Yeah, I would say most of the UK underground sounds, because my whole thing coming back to this was I feel ready, but at the same time, when I'm looking at the scene and the industry, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be kind of discussed. Do you get what I mean? And you got Ray out here talking about a lot of things. I'm on the board for the Ivan Novellos as well. So we're always discussing like songwriters and their splits and per diems and the fact that, you know, for songwriters, it's kind of unfortunate because half of the time they're writing the lion's share of the song, but they're like the last person to get the credit for anything. So I really respect the fact that she's out there advocating for that. And again, when I was looking at the scene, again, as someone who's had a lot of success and is now thinking of the next generation, I was just like, we're losing all of our clubs. So 3 clubs a month are shutting down. The statistics are basically saying by 2029 we're not going to have any clubs in the UK.
Nuts.
All brand new apartments like this. Do you know what I mean? All the things that we're surrounded by. And so when I think about my journey, even your journey, if it weren't for all those little clubs, we probably won't be here today.
Mad thing, for
real. I
real.
mean, that's where we did the 10,000 hours. That's where we played the good sets, the bad sets. That's where we messed up bare times. That's where we got there and there was 20 people and we still had to play.
Straight up.
And it's given us the resilience. Do you get what I mean? The confidence.
It was the training ground.
It's the training ground.
It was
bro.
the boot camp.
It's a training ground. So
the reloads.
Exactly.
The DJs having to
reloads.
mix them tunes
Exactly.
quick.
Even some of the like, I've got the mic and someone wants to take it off.
Mad
me,
thing.
And now I've got to try and take it back and do my thing. Have my little 2
moment.
minutes,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or moment. That's a better way to say it. So the reason why you're hearing drum and bass is because I'm now focusing on all of the underground genres that I heard coming through when I was growing up. Do you get what I mean? Whether it was drum and bass, whether it was garage, whether it was dubstep. And what a lot of people don't realize is, especially as a black artist, a lot of these sonics have black origins as well. So obviously drum and bass, jungle, fusion of like British culture and Caribbean culture. Do you get what I mean? At a time where there was a lot of division and this was something that just brought people together in the raves. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like this is not like a history lesson, but there is a sonic that, you know, us as Brits, you know, we're very tuned into and we recognize, and there's a feeling that comes with it. Do you get what I'm saying? It makes you want to stand up, jump up, move. And we're in a time now where this is everything.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
The
This is the
smartphone.
way, yeah, we communicate, we're able to laugh, we're able to speak to people, you know, we're able to forge relationships, people will jump on dating apps, like everything is happening on there. And less is happening out here in real life.
Straight.
And so, yeah, I wanted to make a project that reflected that feeling of just being in the moment, being present, being somewhere outside, surrounded by other people, and all the feelings and emotions that come with that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Beautiful. Quick sidebar.
Yeah, bro.
Favorite drum and bass jungle MC?
My favorite drum and bass jungle MC, I would probably say, if I'm thinking about new school guys.
Everything, all time.
Okay, I'll say Trigger.
Trigger,
Yeah, Trigger.
Why?
Do you know what? I just like his cadence. I like his voice. I think his image is sick as well. Like his image, obviously Trigger's been around for a long time, but I think when I see him, he he immediately takes me into that world. He makes me feel like that 15-year-old that was excited about all this stuff, and he looks like a believable character. I don't know how to explain it.
He embodies it.
Yes, I'll say Trigger.
That's what it is, man. Big up Trigger.
Come on.
Do you know what? People might think I say this all the time, because there's been a few artists I've been sitting down with recently, and I've been saying this, but you cannot take it for granted, man, because this music industry, this music life can be very rock star. And when people have been in the game for like 20 years, everybody ain't looking like this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, man. You got to take care of yourself,
fresh.
bro.
What's the routine, man?
Do you know what? We're in it for the long game, bro. I train a lot. I train like a madman. I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I'm doing that like 4 or 5 times a week. And for me, I started it in my 30s. So that's something that's changed my life completely, given me a certain level of discipline, a certain level of strength, fitness. And then I just try and eat healthy, bro. You saw the fruits earlier. Like, I'm just like lots of water.
I hear it. I'm
trying to avoid all the fizzy drinks and all that kind of stuff. Just try to be clean, bro. Like, we all have the information now, innit? It's all readily available. So you know what works for you, you know what doesn't. And I'm trying to be here for a long run, bro.
Straight.
So, yeah.
I don't want to rant about it. No fizzy drinks, no cakes, no biscuits, no chocolate, no bread, no dairy.
No sugar in the tea.
Yeah, no sugar in the tea, no cereal.
No
you know
cereal,
what I'm saying?
no
Like,
cereal.
Eggs and broccoli for breakfast every day.
Come on,
like,
bro.
we eat like a lot of vegan food,
Come on,
a
bro.
lot of water. Peppermint tea and water is the only liquid that I drink.
That's
the
good.
only- you know
I'm
what
going to
saying?
take a leaf out of your book.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A lot of running. You don't want to run with me, Tiny.
Is
you
it? It must be mad. It must be
Yeah,
mad.
so training, same, but like for me, I need to bulk up a little bit. I don't have to like, you know, the muscles like you.
Yeah. But the running, that's amazing though.
Yeah.
What's your time on 5K?
Oh, 5K, man. 5K, so that's I do it by miles.
3
so
miles.
that's 3.5 miles.
Yeah,
like, in between. I would do that in about 24 minutes.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, 24. Because
Yeah,
I usually run every mile about 8 minutes.
Okay, that's good, bro.
Yeah, so I'll
That's
do that in
serious.
about 24 still.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
And it's good that you're promoting that as well, because I think even though, like, you know, touching on the clubs, the one thing I like about where culture is at now is that there's a lot more like high rocks, run clubs, this and that, and music is still incorporated in that. So it still kind of works. You know what I mean? But people seem to be taking a lot more care of themselves now because the information is there, and it's a good thing. So it's good you're talking about it, bro.
And I tell you what, everyone's got to want to do it for themselves as well.
Trust me.
Because you can't force someone, you know what I'm saying? They have to understand it for themselves, because what can be frustrating sometimes is if you've got like a sibling, or you got a parent, or you got like a partner, and you're on this thing and they ain't on this thing. I feel like over time they kind of understand, but you can't drag them to it.
No, you can't drag them to it at all. And then also, I think another thing that's important to mention is, like, I'm very big on frequency as well, and I feel like certain foods help to elevate your frequency.
Amen.
Do you get what I mean? So if you think about it logically, the stuff that's being marketed to us, for profits, the stuff that's processed, the stuff that's bright and shiny, colorfully packaged, 9 times out of 10, do you get what I mean? No disrespect to any of these, you know, food brands or anything like that, but 9 times out of 10, I believe that those things will be putting you on a lower frequency. You don't even realize it. You know, like when you've binged on something or you feel hungover.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, cool. Like, you can still walk about, talk to people, but you're mentally not as, you know, like in the place that you could be. And what I've found is that, you know, by having certain diets, by training, by, you know, just taking care of myself, it helps to elevate your frequency. The way you think is different. The way you move is different. Your aura, the unspoken thing about your energy that people can't even see, they can just feel it. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's really important, man. Take care of yourselves. Yeah.
And it's the fuel that you put in yourself.
100%.
And you know what I'm saying? Preach over anyway. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this, funny enough, Eat It Up.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you named the song Eat It Up because you've been eating good food.
Nah, do you know,
talk to us about this song, man.
Yeah, so that basically Eat It Up, I made it with Skepsis, big drum and bass producer, new gen. And for me, that was just like a return. Like, okay, cool, I've been away for a long time, I'm back, and you know what? When I come back, you guys know about it, because my sound, no one is touching my sound. Like, when I come with my sound sonically, like, it's on, it's game time. That was basically what Eat It Up is about. And then obviously just setting the scene for what's to come, like the narrative of the entire project when it comes. You get what I mean? Hopefully next year. But just basically, like, you know, like sound system kind of vibe. Like, okay, you got your speakers, you got your setup, you're playing your thing. When we play our thing, everyone's going, oh, because, yeah, we've got the sound, innit? We're the ones. And then just kind of like going into detail about what that rave culture feels like. Do you get what I mean? Like what it feels like to actually be in a dance with 300 people, sweaty, because like we were saying earlier, culture has changed, and a lot of people may have negative connotations about it. A lot of people might have never even experienced it before. So Eat It Up, that's basically what Eat It Up is.
I will always remember the time that you came on my radio show. Let's just say it's over 15 years ago. I feel like it's definitely before Discovery, the debut album. You know what I'm saying? This is mixtape. This is like Tears, Wifey Rhythm Time, Tinie Tempah. You know what I'm saying? And you came up on my show when you was part of Aftershock and you was with D-Dark and you were spitting. This was rhythms. This was throwing down the instrumentals and you spitting. I feel like there was a few times after that I kind of had to defend you because I feel like people used to play down the fact that you could spit.
Yeah.
Now, what's your response to the detractors that maybe feel like Tinie can't spit? And what's your take on the art of lyricism, how important it is?
It's a good question, man. I think lyricism is incredibly important, man. I think even if we just talk about the origins of hip-hop, and obviously even in hip-hop today, there's a full spectrum of artists from like the conscious rappers to the gangster rappers. So no one's being ignorant and saying, that it's not always been the case. But when you think of hip-hop and the origins of hip-hop, it was maybe not very lyrical, but there was a lot of substance within it. Do you get what I mean? It was more educational. Do you get what I mean? This is who we are. This is how we live. This is our roots. This is our history, etc., etc. And then over the years, it evolved and it evolved and it evolved. I can spit. Do you get what I mean? I obviously know I can spit. If I couldn't spit, I wouldn't be here 15 years later. Do you get what I mean? Talking to you. And I feel like when it comes to art, people are always going to have something to say. Do you get what I mean? Even the art that's in the background now, it's subjective. Me and you might love it, and there's always going to be someone else that's like, you know what, too many colours, man. Like, the artist is using too many colours, or I don't think the graphic on the front of the art was necessary. There's always going to be someone.
It's subjective.
It's so subjective,
Everyone's
bro.
got their opinion.
It's so subjective, bro. There's people that will write me a letter or send me a DM that will say, bro, when you said this, it changed my life. Do you know what I mean? When you said, so I know that my lyrics resonate with people. And if they don't resonate with some people, it's totally fine. And I think at the same time, I would say spitting and MCing is a completely different art to actually songwriting and making a song. Yeah, making a song. Do you get what I mean? And again, there's no right or wrong way to make a song, but it's a completely different art. And all I would say about my journey is I got to a point very quickly where I was like, I know I can spit, but you see all this stuff that's going on over there where people are making songs with verses and bridges and, do you know what I mean, chord changes and all this kind of stuff. Like, I want to do that. And
structure, the things you do with your voice, the melodies.
I want to do that stuff. And I want to see how good I can get at doing that. And that's why from 16 years old, I made Wifey. Even though, it's a classic now, but even though, it's not the best song structure-wise, but I feel like once I got a taste for that, like, I just didn't want to go back, if that makes sense. And obviously, after that, I made J. Cole with, I made Like It or Love It with Wretch 3-2 and J. Cole. Like, if I'm not spitting, bro, how am I on a tune with Wretch 3-2 and J. Cole? Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, man, I think before, like, things like that used to really get to me, but I've got to a stage, and everyone should get to this stage where you know yourself, you know what you're capable of. If someone's saying I'm not the best footballer, cool, man. I will accept that. Like,
know yourself.
Man can't really ball. Yeah, all right, cool, man. Yeah, fair enough. But all that other stuff in the arts, like, it's very, very subjective. So I know myself. I know who I am. I know I'm not going to be able to please everyone, and I'm comfortable with that, man.
Talking of that song, you, Wretch 3-2 and J. Cole, Like It or Love It, somebody actually said recently that you are the first rapper that J. Cole collaborated with from the UK.
Yeah, probably.
Now, talk to him about how that collaboration happened.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a wrestling thing, right?
No, so we were on tour together.
So talk to us about how that collaboration happened and, your relationship with J. Cole.
Yeah, of course. So we were on tour together, and it was my first, like, arena tour. So we wanted to make a big statement, and we're like, do you know what? How many UK rappers have been able to, do a tour alongside a US rapper in the UK. And J. Cole felt like the perfect person because at the time, obviously now J. Cole is legendary status, but at the time he was very, very respected, but just still kind of
emerging,
exactly. And so, yeah, we were on the road for like a good couple of weeks, got to know each other really well. He's a sound brother. And yeah, we ended up getting in the studio. I think he might have done his bit on the tour bus. I might have done my bit in the studio in Greenwich, and then we may have sent it to Wretch, or Wretch came down. I can't remember how, but we made the record. And obviously, because it's not on DSPs, I'm almost a little bit sad. We need to work on that and get it on the DSPs, because I feel like it's a tune that has almost got lost. But the significance of the tune, to me, it's a really important record, especially at the time it came out.
Have you spoken since?
Well, J. Cole, yeah, of course.
Speak,
yeah, we speak, yeah. But the game is the game in the sense that obviously everybody's thinking about their own careers, where they're at, where they're going. So yeah, we speak from time to time, but I'm not going to lie and say like, oh, you know, we're best friends or we hang out all the time or whatever. But the respect is definitely mutual. And yeah, J. Cole's a don, bro.
Come on, man. I see you standing like you went to go and watch Usher perform recently, and the big man Usher shouted you out, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like for me sometimes, I know we don't see each other like a lot, you know what I'm saying, and maybe not speak to each other a lot, but I'm just like, yo, this is Tinie that man knew from way back, you know, like on the roof, Deja and that, and I see you. I know it's just a little thing, but man like Usher shouting you out, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, yeah. You got to soak it in. Yeah, you got to soak it up, definitely, and take it in 100%. It's not a joke. And I think, again, like in that whole return to music, like all of these things have been like little validations, like little affirmations. Like, you know what, bro? Like, you're loved in this thing. Do you get what I mean? And you got something to do, and you got something that you need to continue to do. Like, Usher's still doing it. Do you get what I mean? If he's still doing it, why are you not doing it? Like,
inspirational.
Exactly.
You've had an illustrious career thus far. Like we've said, enough success. #1 albums, #1 singles. Like, you've broken records as a UK rapper, spitter. Like, you've been inspirational. You've been a trailblazer, and you came from the ground up.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a year or a chapter that you can choose as the most significant part in your career thus far, which part would it be, man?
I'm going to say 2009, just before Discovery came out. And the reason why I would say that is because 2009, I was probably at my lowest. And that's why I think it's important for people to hear this, because 2009, I was ready to quit. Like, I finished college in like 2008 or something like that. Yeah, 2007, 2008. And I was meant to go to university. Being the first child of 4, do you get what I mean? Nigerian household, it was meant to be like just a standard thing. He's going to uni. And so obviously when I decided to not do that and pursue music, that wasn't going down well, bro. Like, I was getting hell in that house. Things I was putting out, people weren't really
Parent pressure from the family.
My little siblings looking at me thinking, oh, well, he's doing what he wants to do. I want to do what I want to do. Like, and then you're putting out stuff, people are not really receiving it the way you'd hope they'd receive it. I was just like, it's not going to happen, bro. I'm going to quit. Like,
it was a crossroads.
Yeah. Like, I actually have to now make a decision. Like, Mumsy and Pops are on my neck. Like, this stuff is not working. Like, what am I going to do? And then obviously a year after Discovery's made, we put it out, and like life changes completely. So I think for anyone out there who's kind of like on their journey making music, you know, going through the highs and the lows, it's a roller coaster of emotions. Do you get what I mean? Like, just if you believe in what you're doing, just never quit, man. Never quit. And don't do it to stupidity. Do you get what I mean? Don't be living on the streets and be like, you know what, I'm still going to just keep doing it. But within reason, there's always going to be people who can't see the same vision as you. Do you know what I mean? But I could see it so clearly, and I knew what could happen. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm just so happy that I stuck it out, and that's why that year is so important, because it was either the year that I just would have been someone else, or I would have gone on to make it. And yeah, thank God.
Crazy. I want to speak to you about the numbers. Nowadays, the numbers are so publicized, whether it's the PR talking about them, whether you can actually see them on the YouTube, on the digital streaming platforms. They're very much publicized, and loads of these platforms or people or avenues will lead you to believe that the songs with the big numbers are the best thing since sliced bread. So I want to ask you how much of a correlation you feel like there is between songs with big numbers and how good the song actually is.
Well, my take on this, and this is quite controversial, no, I've not said this to anyone before, But my thing with this is digitally, like 90% of the numbers have to be fake, right? So that they have to be. Do you get what I mean? Or they have to be able to be manipulated, at least. And when I look at the game like that, that's why to me it's just fun now, because we're now in a time where, in my opinion, this is my opinion, but I know it's fact, yeah. Like, what is real and what is not? Who knows, bro? Do you get what I mean? We've heard about streaming farms. We've heard about some of the biggest and most famous and most celebrated influencers in the world having fake followers, and Instagram having to check them and say, we're getting rid of 5 million followers of yours because they're not real, they're bots. Do you get what I'm saying? So I definitely disagree with the fact that the best songs have the biggest numbers. I think now the zeitgeist we're in is a popularity contest. Do you get what I mean? And so everyone's on their phones looking for entertainment, and if they are entertained in some way, shape or form, or someone has referred something to them that's going to entertain them, you're getting the click, you're getting the like. Do you get what I mean? You're getting the engagement. But we know, and I know you know, do you get what I mean? We know that if I now want to spend a bit of money and boost this thing and amplify this thing, then all of a sudden those numbers can triple. Do you know what I mean? Or quadruple. So,
but isn't that just marketing though? Like, money was spent like with promo back in the day, just a counter argument.
It is, but we also, like I said, we also know about the streaming farms. We also know about the fact that people have bots, do you get what I mean? Or are paying to have bots on their thing. So my thing is, I'm not judgmental of it. It just is where the game's at. Do you get what I'm saying? So, but what I think is slightly unfortunate about it is that there are so many talented artists that maybe don't have those same resources or are not thinking in that way, that might just have a song that could have just changed the world. Do you get what I mean? Or might be a talent that if you gave them, 2 more releases, they would actually fully mature into what they're meant to be, and then you'd see a madness. But because they don't have the numbers, or because they don't have the following, no one's giving them a look in.
They don't get celebrated.
Yeah, I think we're doing, not where, but I think the music industry would be doing a disservice to emerging talent if they're purely basing it on numbers. Because what happened to the A&R? Do you get what I mean? What happened to the development of artists? And that's something that at Imhotep we're really trying to focus on. Like, okay, cool. If you want to go off and become the biggest pop star in the world, that's between you and God, and I wish you all the best. However, all of the sort of preliminary foundational things that you're meant to know how to do, how to like talk into a mic properly, do you get what I mean? How to conduct yourself in a studio, how to write, how to deal with your lawyer, how to deal with your accountants, all the foundational stuff that's going to give you the right stead to kind of like have a long career. We want to help you with that, because I think at the end of the day, there is so much talent out there, and it can't just all be based on numbers. That's crazy.
So, an illustrious career, very rich. Sorry, rich in life, rich in spirit, successful.
Yeah, that's what I like.
You know what I'm saying? We have to put on record successful. I want to ask you, what has been your best investment? Not going into your business too much, but what has been your best investment in your music career thus far?
That's a good question. I would say the best investment in my music career specifically is in myself. Yeah. Because obviously, I've invested in loads of different things when it comes to music, but I would first and foremost start by saying myself. And the reason why is because I can count on myself. Do you get what I mean? And if I take a risk on myself and it fails, at least I can look at myself in the mirror and be like, you know what? This was for me. I did the best I could and it still didn't work. Fair enough. Whereas with someone else, there's always the shoulda, woulda, couldas. They could have done more of this. They didn't do enough of that. Rare. So I'd say the single best investment is myself. And then I'd say other than that, it would be publishing in music specifically. And the reason why I say that is from the jump, I always had an understanding of publishing and the importance of, the writing, basically, these are the words and this is what it means and this is essentially the essence of the song. And so from very early on in my career, I made sure that I retained as much of my publishing as possible. Obviously, I am signed with a publisher as well. But then also I got to a point where I was like, I want to set up a publishing company. And the reason why, I have studios, I have a lot of success in music, I have a good A&R ear. And, you know, I want to be able to invest in talent and have a share in that, but also help them to get to where they want to get to. And so I would say that would be the second best investment, because what you were saying about catalog going back over 20 years, like this was a great opportunity for me to invest into other catalog outside of my own as well. And some of that catalog has ended up becoming very, very lucrative. Yeah. So just by taking a risk, because that's what people always have to understand, by taking a risk, not knowing what someone's going to turn into, you've ended up with an Alicia Keys record, or like a Drake record, or a Chris Brown record, or a Dave record, or do you get what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm like, rah, okay, cool. Like this money that I spent, this investment, this time, this energy that I put into this person, ultimately they went on and did it themselves. But I'm glad I was part of that journey, and it's made sense for myself and it's made sense for them.
Straight up. You got to speculate to accumulate.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just a quick snapshot. Give them some game on why publishing is so important in your opinion.
So publishing is really important because in the near future, if you write something and that thing goes on to be successful, then you can bet your bottom dollar that it will be used again and again and again. And whether that is in the sense that it gets played a lot, so SK Vibemakers is playing it back to back to back, that's money that's being generated. Do you get what I mean? And there's a few lines of income that will come from that one record, but a lion's share of that is actually publishing. Do you get what I mean? And then also, if now someone wants to sync it and say, okay, cool, you know, we're now going to put this record on this big TV advert or big YouTube advert or big sporting event, again, publishing.
Residuals.
Residuals is coming in. TV performance, same thing. Or, you know, live performance somewhere, again, publishing, residuals.
Income.
Someone remixes it in 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, 30 years, residuals. So it's really a long-term game. What people don't understand about publishing is actually your residuals come in drips and drabs. £15, £250, £500, £2,000.
But it's ongoing.
It's ongoing. And that's something, I don't know whether it's how I was raised culturally, but I'm not ever necessarily looking for the big check up front. Like, if you can guarantee me that I'm going to continuously get residuals forever, I would even forfeit that big check, because I know what I'm going to do with that big check. I'm going to go and do a madness, and now that check is gone. Whereas if you can keep drip feeding,
the slow money,
like, what more can you ask for? Do you get what I mean? You're sleeping and it's happening.
That's game. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot right now, and it's whatever you answer right now. It might be this week, it might be this month. I want to ask you your favorite album of all time, a classic for you, an album that has had an impact on you, and why?
Okay, for me personally, and this is on the spot because I know I'm definitely going to think of another one after this, but for me personally, like thinking about my journey, how I felt when I bought it, how I felt when I was listening to it, I would say So Solid Crew, They Don't Know.
What was it about that album?
Just the fact that it was British. It was exciting, it was polished. It was like the first time I'd seen like something that I could compare to the Americans, but that was happening on our own soil. And obviously you're from North, I'm from South. So even being from South and feeling the energy of South London at the time, it was electric. It was like our first, obviously we'd had loads prior to that, but as a 12-year-old, it was like our first like British rap superstars. Do you get what I'm saying?
Real talk.
And then them
rap
rolling around,
superstars.
rap superstars, them rolling around in the TTs, 20 something of them, all different characters. You got
Iconic.
Case, you got Oxide, you got Neutrino, you got Romeo, you got it was
Harvey,
too much for my head, bro.
Lisa Mafia, all
Yeah,
of them.
Lisa Mafia, they had the girl, do you get what I'm saying? They had the twins. It was brazy, bro. It was brazy. So yeah, shout out So Solid. And I remember at the time my parents were taking me to Nigeria. My mum rather was taking me to Nigeria. I was going to be there for like 3 or 4 weeks. And at the time, like, we're going to the village. We're not going to Lagos. So we're going 6 hours from Lagos into the village. There's all to do there, bro.
This ain't the city, basically.
Yeah, this ain't the city. This is you taking a bucket, going downstairs, filling up from the main tap.
This is the village.
Taking the bucket all the way back up. And that's how you're bathing. That's how you're cooking. That's how you're... Do you get what I mean? So I remember I was like, how am I going to be entertained? Like, I need something. So in the airport, Virgin Megastores at the time, I remember just buying it, seeing all the like plastic wrapped around it. I rinse that thing for the whole trip. So I
Straight
think
up.
because of that memory and that experience, it's always gonna like have a special place.
Straight up. I want to flash back to Pass Out, man. You and Labrinth's first song that you ever made, first release. I know you've spoken about that was like, you know what I mean, the first song you've made, but I want to just on record talk about, you know, you guys meeting, how you met, and that studio session making Pass Out, if you remember it.
Of course, I remember it like it was yesterday. So I was listening to another album by another rapper, and this album was executively produced by Labrinth. Yeah, I didn't know who Labrinth was at the time, but again,
But it's from North London.
But it's from North, big up North London. But yeah, I'm a Sonics man, so I'm listening to the album and I'm like, this is quality. Like this is globally, this could stand in any territory. Yeah, who is the guy? Like obviously I know who the rapper is, but who's the guy behind all the music, doing the hooks, doing this, doing that? Oh, it's a guy called Labrinth. Labrinth is sick. And then in my mind, I don't know why, especially at the time, Labrinth to me is some 40, 50-year-old white guy. Do you get what I mean?
That's who you visualized him
that's
being.
who I visualized him to be. A studio in the countryside.
Why though?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. So then they're like, nah, you're going to go and do the work in Wood Green, like with Pat and the session. Chocolate Factory, you already know. I got there, I see Labrinth, bro. He's exactly like me. Do you get what I mean? Black boy, good family. Do you get what I mean? Or family that's tried really hard for them. Big family. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm just like, raw. And then immediately I relaxed. Because again, what people don't understand is, especially when you're on kind of borrowed time, like, you know, we're paying all this money for studio. That's why the first other major investment I made after was getting my own studio. Because I was like, this is too much pressure. Yeah. Someone's standing there watching you record.
You want your own space.
Yeah, you want your own space. Like the clock is ticking every hour. Money. Like, nah, I can't create in these kind of conditions. So I remember getting there and just relaxing immediately and being like, rah, he's man them. Like, this is sick. And then, yeah, like ran through a couple beats, heard do was like, wait 1 second,
this one,
what's that? Go back to that. And then literally like within about 8 or 9 hours, the skeleton of what Pass Out was eventually going to turn into was already there. And I remember us just sitting down, just listening to it, and we didn't have the drum and bass bit at the end. So Labrinth's manager at the time came in, did that. I was just like, this is sounding mad. And then the rapper whose project I was listening to, he walked in.
Just Master Shorty, right?
Yeah. Just as we'd finished making the thing. And he walked in and he was just like, this is cold. This is cold. So we're all just sitting there thinking, okay, we've got something. But then the whole idea of like it being number one or it selling this, that was not in the mind. It was just like, we got a street heater. This is just going to shut down everything. And then now we can start trying to release more, you know, palatable stuff for Middle England. Do you get what I mean? We can now try and see where we can take it from there. But at least we've got the street record and we've done that. Bro, we put it out straight to number one. History, bro.
Now, you know, the line that stuck out so much was, I've been to Southampton, but I've never been to Scunthorpe.
Yeah.
Now,
very British.
I don't know if you thought that line was going to resonate the way it did, but why did you put that line in there? And why did you feel like you needed to say that?
Bro, I don't know. Sometimes, as we know in life, yeah, it's the most...
Scunthorpe, they took it as a bit of a dislike, some of them now.
Is it? Well, nah, they're always DMing me, man, saying when you're going to come. I still haven't been. But yeah, I remember, like, at the time, I wasn't really thinking about it too much. Like, again, another thing to mention about music is I've grown to understand music is a spiritual thing, my bro. It's spiritual. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes we're merely, whether you're making contemporary art, like what's behind us, or you're using your voice to sing or to rap or to dance, I believe that there's a higher power and you're merely a vessel. And everyone's got a different role to play in the whole thing. Do you get what I mean? Everyone's got a different message to put out, but ultimately you're a vessel and you're meant to use these gifts and these powers for good. And maybe some people veer off and go down a different way. Do you get what I'm saying? But I don't know why I said it. All I knew is that I wanted to be as British as possible. And that line is a very British line, bro. You get what I mean? You can't replicate that line anywhere else. So yeah, that was maybe the reason.
So like circa 2005, 6, 7 times when you was making Wifey Rhythm and Tears, you was working with Aftershock, Davinche, all of that. What was your ambitions as an MC, as an artist at the time? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was to make songs, bro. It was to make songs that would chart. and that would do well. And
it was always that from the beginning. I want to be an artist that charts. It wasn't about the grime scene, just only the grime scene, spitting in like pirate radio. It was to maybe get signed and chart. Yeah,
it was like, it was to be, let me put it like this, it was to be as successful as I could be as a musician. And obviously there's so many musicians to compare yourself to. So as much as I was comparing myself to artists in the grime scene, I was also comparing myself to pop artists as well, because I want to be competing in the same space that they're competing in. So I think the grime scene is what made me fall in love with music and what made me believe that it was real and I could actually do it. And obviously being in all those pirate radio stations, being around some of those legendary MCs definitely made me feel like, bruh, if you could get yourself out of your house, and bump the train, somehow get here at 16 years old and be with all these man, like, and they're accepting you and they're letting you spit with them, like, you're on your way. Do you get what I mean? But I think the way you framed it, I feel like it kind of could make it sound like it was almost like a means to
it wasn't
an
an unloyal thing. You had lofty ambitions.
Yeah, I just had lofty ambitions.
I ask you because I feel like I remember the time, and I remember that the grime scene was everything, and being part of that was everything, the training ground. But a lot of MCs didn't think about the bigger picture. And
100%.
for me personally, seeing Dizzy Rascal elevate, it was like we had never seen nothing like that before.
And I think that's a great point to mention. Dizzy was my go. So when I saw him elevate, I think immediately I was like, rah, he's gone to a next thing. Like, I want to do that. I think I can do it. If he can do that, and now he's touring with Red Hot Chili Peppers and Justin Timberlake and all these people like that, like, why can't I? And at the same time, what he's doing is more important. It doesn't matter about who he's touring with. It's the fact that he's a British MC, certified MC, and he's now waving the flag for GB all around the world. And so in my mind, that's kind of what I was thinking. And that felt like the next step. Whereas, like you said, again, not shitting out on anyone, but there were certain people and they just seemed to be happy where they were. And that's totally fine. And that's just life, isn't it? Do you get what I mean? There's some people who are living where they're living, and it could be country, it could be accommodation, and they're happy. And then there's some people who are like, you know what, I'm gonna leave this country and I'm gonna go somewhere with better opportunity, and they leave their friends, sometimes they leave their family behind because they have a vision. Do you know what I mean? Same with car, same with accommodation, so there was a load of people who were just happy for, I've just done this rave, I've performed at this rave, now I'm gonna turn up after, there's some little vibes, rare, cool, that's my night done. Whereas I think looking at the likes of the Dizzies, Kano at the time, Wiley's, I was like, cool, they're in the business of it now, because when we're going on pirate radio station, we're the ones paying subs, bro.
Yeah.
Like, who's paying us?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, you want to do what you love, but you want it to make sense as well. Do you get what I mean? So I was looking at them like, okay, you've crossed over, but you're also in the business. You're now doing the real business. The same as Chris Martin or whoever, maybe at not the same level, but you're having the same conversations, you're getting a contract, you're doing that. I want to be doing that as well.
Straight up.
And that's what helped me, I think.
I'm going to rewind again, man. Bruiser,
Get me.
D-Dark, Miss Brat, Triple Threat,
Come on.
DJ Illness, Badness, and more importantly, Terror Danger,
Rest in peace.
Aftershock crew. You was very much associated. There's a lot of other artists as well, but you was very associated with those in the early part of your career. Can you talk to me about those Aftershock days and, the role that Terror Danger had in your early career?
Yeah, rest in peace to Terror Danger, man. I would say the Aftershock days were some of the most exciting days of my career at the time, because there was a point, and obviously this was going to sound so foreign to most people now, but there was a time where South London MCs weren't even getting love like that. Do you know what I mean? Outside of So Solid crew, it was kind of more marginalized. Like, grime as a whole was marginalized, but if you were from South, maybe other areas as well, maybe West probably felt like that at the time, you were marginalized. Like, for me at the time, it was East London were the kings, then you had Northwest was doing their thing, and North as well. So those were all the areas, that's where all the main pirate radio stations were, and I feel like if you weren't in that, then you were kind of on the outside. And so when I got the call to be part of Aftershock, that for me was like, the stamp of approval.
Who did the call come from?
Do you remember? I think it was Terror and Flash, you know.
Straight.
Yeah, I think it was Terror and Flash. Big up Flash as well.
Big up Magnum Force too.
Yeah, big up Magnum, bro. Wow. Yeah, and DOK, all these guys. Yeah, so basically that for me was like, okay, cool. I was a South London kid, originally from the council estates, moved to the suburbs. Now I'm in East London. I'm in Forest Gate after school every day. Yeah, with the man them.
It's a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey, bro. Like,
yeah.
wow, I'm here. I'm in Terror's yard every day. And then rest in peace to Terror. Like, Terror, he's someone that obviously I knew he was a legend, yeah. But the time I really realized this guy's a legend, I was at Coachella, bro. I was at Coachella, my first ever Coachella gig, 2011. And I've just finished my performance. Clint Eastwood has turned up, David Hasselhoff, Usher, all these different people. And then who do I see like walking through the field with their like kit, their headphones, getting ready to play? Terror.
Look at that.
I'm like, Terror. I'm like, you're at Coachella. He's like, yeah, man, I'm about to do my set. Normal. I was like, this guy's a sound man. Like, he's been providing them ravers. He's providing what the ravers want. So I always knew that I was in good company, and he's someone who definitely helped me refine my craft. He's definitely someone whose production I felt was, again, like the Davinches that you mentioned, slightly more elevated and signature, a bit more polished, you know, could make it onto commercial radio. As opposed to some of the other, you know, more bedroom producers who was, they would make you the bangers, but maybe frequency-wise or mix-wise, it wasn't standing up against.
A lot of the producers were very 4-bar.
Yeah.
Terror's production was very musical.
Exactly. It took you on a journey. So, yeah, man, that was one, like, at that time, probably the best time of my career. And then I remember there was a point where I was like, you know what? It's the time. I want to drop Wifey. And so I remember I dropped it, and I was still around the guys, but I remember kind of getting a bit of resistance. Like, you can't kind of just go off and break off like that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, Bruiser can do that. You can't really do that. It wasn't really said like that, but that's kind of what I got from what everyone was saying. And so then I felt like, okay, cool. If I really want to follow my destiny or the, you know, the calling that I feel like I've been called for, I need to respectfully like remove myself from this. So I remember having a chat with them. It was the hardest chat in the world because at the time I was where I wanted to be. I was in a crew and I was in a reputable like crew. Do you get what I mean? Aftershock up there with the nasty crews, with the roll deets, with the, so I was where I needed to be. And I remember having that conversation again, like 2009. It was like a fork in the road. It was like, am I making the right decision? Like, I could just fall on my face now and I can't go back. And then I remember like leaving and then putting out Wifey Rhythm on Channel U, and then that ended up going #1 there for 10 weeks, like 10 consecutive weeks. And then after that I was like, yeah, do you know what? I did the right thing. But yeah, that time was a very special time, man.
Rest in peace, Terror Danger.
Rest in peace, bro.
What about working with Davinche on Tears and like around Cleo Sol and that? How was that period, man?
Yeah, so that period was exciting. And again, the whole mindset there was like, okay, these guys are making the elevated production. Remember, Davinche was making a lot of stuff for Kano at the time. He was on Kano's.
And he's from South as well?
And he's from South, yeah. He's from South London legend. And I remember, obviously, he was on Kano's like debut album. So I don't know if it was Brown Eyes, but
he was certified.
Yeah,
he done P's and Q's.
P's and Q's, you get what I'm saying? I think Jammer had something to do with P's and Q's as well, or no?
I'm not sure.
Okay, fact check, guys.
Yeah, do that.
But yeah, so I remember Terror, Davinche, these man there, they were elevated producers to me. Obviously, I'm sure there was loads more out there, but these were the guys where if you want that song to end up on radio, get playlisted, you got to work with them.
Straight.
And that was the kind of idea and mindset behind working with Davinche. He was working with Cleo Sol at the time, so we wrote Tears. He was like, I've got an amazing singer, love Cleo from the jump, thought she was an amazing energy. She put her vocals down. We shot the video. The rest is history. And
Cleo, since then, has elevated, man. She was doing her thing. She was always talented. But the last 5 years, she has really elevated. And she is quintessentially, she is UK soul music.
Yeah.
Do you still speak or anything like that?
Do you know what? I haven't spoken to her in ages, but I went to see the Salt Show. I went to see it in Drumsheds. It was amazing, man. And like, yeah, man, Cleo is where she deserves to be. Do you get what I mean? So big up, man. All the best.
Debut album. Discovery, 15 years old now. A very important album that came out at the time. Like we say, it's got the record for the first week for a UK rapper in sales. Bangers off that album.
Yeah.
Plaques off that album.
Ridiculous.
How do you feel about the legacy of that album?
I feel like with anything, like someone gave me this analogy before, yeah, and it was with boxing, and they were like, look, Lennox Lewis, yeah, whatever you think of Lennox Lewis, I think he's a legend, and I think he's one of the best boxers the country's ever produced, yeah. But they're like, pound for pound, one of the best heavyweights in England in history, right? And the longer time passes, where no one is able to do what Lennox Lewis does, it further reinforces his greatness. Do you get what I'm saying? I remember someone saying that to me, and I was like, it's true, you know? Like, people can say whatever they want to say, but if time is passing and no one's topping what Lennox Lewis has done, how can you say Lennox Lewis is not great? So that's kind of what I feel with Discovery. Like, Discovery was received well, but I feel very well. But I feel like what's happened over time is it's just cemented itself, you know, in kind of like British history and British culture. And that's why I'm really grateful that you wanted me on here so that we could talk about it, because I think especially within black culture, we need to preserve our successes. We need to. The same way our counterparts do. Do you get what I mean? 60 years of this, 50 years of this.
Of course.
Like, we need to be preserving our culture. Otherwise, as we know, because we have all the information, it gets erased.
I feel like we don't have enough historians in London, in the UK, that celebrate black culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, aside from your album, yeah, I just want to just put this out there, yeah. Sway, I feel like Sway done so much.
This is my demo, ridiculous,
and
bro.
I just feel like
Black and Gold with Akon,
bro,
ridiculous.
His era is not celebrated, bro.
That's the thing.
And like, you done greatness, and I even feel like Discovery is not celebrated as much as it should be. That's why I wanted you to talk about the legacy and how you feel about the respect for that album.
I hear it.
You might feel differently to me, but from my perspective, I feel like regardless of what you think, you might have thought, okay, it was a bit more pop leaning, but what it done for a young black boy, for black culture, for like a time when in this country it was really, MCs only really just started charting.
Yeah.
Because when Kano came out, I remember clearly his album went to 35 in the charts, and that was a success.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It is a success.
And then 5 years later, you've taken it to another level and broke records and set the bar high for first weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
100%. And yeah, with the whole historian thing, I get it, man. I know that there will even be a whole new gen watching this that don't give a shit about what happened 15 years ago or 20 years ago or 30, 40 years ago. But the funny thing is, and I'm talking to you directly now, is you will at a certain stage in your life. That's the thing. I mean, maybe 15 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, you will start to care. You will start to understand a little bit more. Okay, cool. I'm me, but I'm also from a tribe of people. Do you know what I mean? Or from a community of people. What's our story? Do you know what I mean? What, you know, since we've been here, what have we done? What have we achieved? Do you know what I mean? That's why I find myself now that I've got kids, knowing that the black man was the man that invented the traffic light or invented it, because it's important. Because now when I want to talk to my kids and empower them, I need to let them know that we've been great and we've been being great from the beginning. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like even though it hasn't been done, it's being done now. And we're still, you know, I don't believe in that whole saying of like, oh, you know, America's 5-10 years in front of us. I think it used to be like that, but not anymore. But I feel like in the same way that they're celebrating 50 years of hip hop now, I mean, hip hop is 50 years old. It's ridiculous. Or 51 years now or whatever. I feel like we now have enough, not gatekeepers, that's not the right word, but people of influence within our community who have seen both sides now. Do you get what I mean? Someone like yourself, do you get what I mean? You've seen what happened 15, 20 years ago, but you're still here in real time, still relevant, still influential, seeing what's going on now. And it's people like yourselves, people like myself, and so many others that will be able to continue to kind of like celebrate what has come before, just to empower people and to let people know that it's real and it's possible and it's achievable. Do you get what I'm saying?
Real talk.
So yeah, it is what it is.
It's evident to see that you're on a well-being plight. You know, you spoke about your diet and your training regime.
Yeah, man.
So you haven't been so much of a rock star, but you are now a married man with 2 young daughters. Yeah. I mean, how much has that changed you as an individual, you as a musician, and your rock star life? It's
a good question. Do you know what? I feel like it's changed certain aspects of me for the better, because like I was saying before, music is a very egocentric thing. Like, you're very much focused on you every day, and then you surround yourself with people who are being remunerated to focus on you. So now your world is just you. Do you get what I'm saying? But once you have kids, once you have a significant other, you are immediately kind of forced to think in a way that is anti that. Do you know what I mean? You've got to put other people first. And so being able to experience that, especially at the time that I decided to do it, I think has been the best thing for me, like, moving forward. However, I would say, like, it also helped me to realize that my core is being a creative. Do you get what I mean? Like, okay, cool. Like, being able to achieve all that I've achieved in terms of my personal life, I feel more successful even than music, to be honest with you. However, music will always be the thing that kind of makes me want to wake up and go out and do stuff. And I think this definitely helped me to realize that. And I think it's good that you mentioned it as well, because as a lot of people know, once you have kids, once you have a significant other, the balancing act of trying to, like, maintain that work-life balance is very, very difficult. So being able to step out and do this now with a family is definitely not easy. It's definitely nowhere as easy as it was before. But I'm someone that is very competitive, and I like the challenge. And so I want to preserve everything that I've been able to build in my personal life and still go on to have a fruitful career that carries on. And so I think now my challenge and my battle is with myself. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, how do I now juggle this? How do I now make this work? That's the new challenge. And then in terms of being a rock star, like, I think I will always be a rock star. Like, I will always be, like, because I've been up until this point. Do you know what I mean? Just because you make certain decisions in your life, it doesn't change who you are in essence. Do you get what I mean? And I think you should change to a certain degree and you should evolve. But my music is high energy. It's all about euphoria. It's all about making people feel good, bringing people together, and enjoyment mainly. Do you know what I mean? I will talk about lots of other things. I'll do some social commentary. I'll talk about my own personal journey. But essentially, I want to bring people together and make people feel good. It's very simple. And so that bit of me is never going to die. And again, another quote I heard from someone is, you know, make sure your inner child is alive. Like, make sure you don't kill off your inner child, or make sure life doesn't make you kill off your inner child, whether it's the bills, whether it's the responsibility, whether it's your kids, whether it's your missus. Like, make sure you keep that alive. And I feel like for as long as I have my inner child, I'm always going to be a rock star.
Jeez.
Yeah.
8 years since the last album, you know.
A long
No
time,
pressure.
bro.
3 albums to date. I mean, what are we saying for the new album, man? New project?
Yeah, I think next year, man. But I think, like, do people even really listen to albums anymore? Like, what's going on? Do you get what I mean? So when people want an album, like, there will be one there for them. But I think at this moment in time, it's just about giving people music. Do you get what I mean? And reminding people that, you know what, I really do this. And when I do this, I come correct. I think for me now, that's kind of where I'm at. And just making stuff that's been sitting in the studio for a year, 18 months, that I've loved and I've always wanted to share with people. Even just being able to do that in the kind of free way that you can do it now. You know, you make it and with a click of a button, it's all over the DSPs. That is such a liberating thing for me. Do you get what I mean? So an album will come at some point, but I feel like right about now, it's just about giving people music and just having fun with it, bro.
And I feel like you've gone like 360 in some sorts. You know, Pass Out was a time that a lot of people first heard you back in 09. 10 times, and now we've got Eat It Up and Closer, which is a similar vibe. Talk about this new song Closer, man.
Cool. So Closer was produced by A-Sides Metalheads, one of the Metalheads producers, and basically it's a fusion of like liquid drum and bass and jungle. Again, a lot of these sounds originate from us. Do you get what I mean? So that's one thing to just make sure I hone in on. The narrative of the song is basically about a relationship, and it's when two people have come together, they're a few years into the relationship, it's time to take it to the next level, and they're just in two different places mentally. Like, they've both been riding this thing, it's going well, but one of them is not ready to maybe take it to the next level yet, whereas the other one is like, we've reached that point, we've got to do it. They both don't want to lose each other, and so they're just working out how they navigate their relationship. like within all of that. That's basically what Closer's about. And I feel like a lot of people in their lives have been through something like that. Do you get what I mean? Or will be going through something like that in real time. And yeah, again, it's just high energy, but there is a sentiment to it and there's a meaning to it as well. Features a vocalist called Abby Flynn. She's amazing. She just did a record with like Joel Corey. And she's almost a bit like an unsung hero, man. Like everyone knows her vocals, but most people won't know her name. And so for me, this was a great opportunity to work with a very sick vocalist who I could celebrate and say, you know what, you're not even just a feature, it's me and you on the tune. Because again, going back to what I was saying about Ray and like songwriters and people just not getting the credit that they deserve, that's something that's really important to me. And yeah, in a nutshell, that's Closer.
Listen, man, it's been a great conversation, you know. SK Vibemaker. My interviews are hotter with Tinie Tempah. How about that? Thank you very much, man.
Love for having me, my guy.
Of course.
SK Vibemaker.